Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavatam. You're not sounding too well. Prabhu, are you okay? You still want to do the class? You're sounding very unwell.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Krishna Lilamrita Sar तार शत शत धार दश दीक बहे जहाँ हईते से चैतन्य लीला है सरोवर अक्षय परहंस चराता हाते. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you. Welcome back to our Caritamrta reading. So, last week we had Prabhupada's disappearance festival in Mayapur. That's why we are not able to continue last week. So we could not do the class. So now we're going to continue from Adilila chapter 7, Lord Chaitanya in 5 features. Today is text number 101. So just a quick recap of what we are discussing in our previous classes. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived in Kashi, Varanasi, so these Mayavadi sannyasis, so they were thinking why this Chaitanya is a sannyasi, he does not associate with us. The duty of a sannyasi is to study Vedanta. He doesn't study Vedanta. He is just like a sentimental person, chants this holy name and dances. Sometimes he cries. So what is this? This is not supposed to be the a position of a sannyasi. So as they inquired from Mahaprabhu, then Mahaprabhu he told him that actually my Guru Maharaj, he when he gave me mantra, he asked me to chant this mantra, and after I started chanting, I was feeling this ecstatic symptoms in my body. Then I went to ask my Gurudev. Then my Gurudev told me that when a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. That was the reply. He said, when a person becomes advanced and chants uh, the holy name of Lord Krishna, and while chanting, he takes pleasure. Then these kind of symptoms are obvious. That sometimes he may chant loudly, sometimes he will laugh, sometimes he will cry. So this is the uh, symptom. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, uh, because I have full faith on, I believe in these words of my Guru, that's why I am chanting. And whenever I chant, I automatically, without any personal endeavor, I experience such type of ecstasy in my body. I sometimes cry, I sometimes chant loudly, and don't think that I intentionally do it. Uh, it is automatic. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed like that, then finally he told them one thing, that this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the happiness cannot be compared with any other type of spiritual happiness. And he gave this example that compared to the ocean of transcendental bliss that one tastes by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the pleasure divided from impersonal the, the pleasure derived from impersonal Brahman realization, it is just like a water content in a calf's footprint. So that means he gave a very clear indication that uh, whenever one chants holy name purely, he will experience unlimited transcendental bliss. Uh, so here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke. This is also one important point to take a note on, that we have not experienced that kind of ecstasy in chanting. This is, at least I have not experienced. Therefore, when I speak to somebody about these glories of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what to speak of Mayavadi, even those who are interested to hear, they also don't get so much uh, interested. But here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that I don't do all these things intentionally, these kind of transformations happen. And now, when he spoke to them, Prabhu Mr. Vakyaswari Sannyasir Gaur Chitta Firi Gelo Kahe Madhur Vachan. When the sannyasis, even though they were Mayavadi sannyasis, they heard from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they actually changed their mind. Their minds changed. Eh? Then they spoke to Mahaprabhu that what you have said is all true actually. Eh? Only one who is favored by fortune attains love of Godhead. Then further, the sannyasis, they confirmed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, text number 101. कृष्ण भक्ति करो इहार सवार संतोष वेदांत ना सुनो के ने तार की दोष. Again, they are coming back to their same point. They are saying, all right, Krishna bhakti karo, iha savar santosh. We understand you are a devotee of Lord Krishna and you chant Krishna's name, you perform devotional service in form of chanting. It's all right. We are satisfied with that. But our point is, Vedanta na suno kena. Maybe you are not so educated person. You cannot read Vedanta. You are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's all right. But even if you are not able to study Vedanta, Vedanta na suno kena. You are here. You know we are studying Vedanta and we are sannyasis. You should come. Listen to us. Listen from us. The Vedanta Sutra. Tarkiva dos. What is the fault in it? If you come and listen to Vedanta Sutra from us, There is no fault in it, right? So they were telling Caitanya Mahaprabhu like this. Prabhupada gave a long purport where he explains that Mayavadi sannyasis accept the meaning expressed in the explanations of the Vedanta Sutra by Shankaracharya, which are based on monism. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually avoided. The great Mayavadi sannyasi Sadananda Yogindra has written a book known as Vedanta Sar, in which he writes Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam Tad Upakarini Saririka Sutradini Cha. According to Sadananda Yogindra, the Vedanta Sutra and Upanishads are presented by Sri Shankaracharya in his Saririka Bhashya commentary are the only source of Vedic evidence. So that's why all the followers of Shankaracharya they believe on this uh, commentary called Vedanta Sarika Bhashya, even by Shankaracharya. And they read Prabhupada in purport, further he explains about the Vaishnavas. They also have their commentary in Vedanta Sutra. Huh? Prabhupada says there are 4 Vedanta commentaries written by Vaishnavacharyas, none of whom follow Sri Shankaracharya or accept the imaginative commentary of his school. What Shankaracharya has done is Shankaracharya has kept the direct meaning of Vedanta Sutra hidden and he has given his concoctive, his imaginative commentary. But our Vaishnavacharyas, they have given direct meaning. So Prabhupada says these Vaishnavacharyas commentaries are based on the philosophy of duality. But Shankaracharya's commentary is based on monism philosophy. Monist philosophers like Shankaracharya and his followers want to establish that God and the living entity are one, and instead of worshipping the supreme personality of Godhead, they present themselves as God. This is the problem. They say there is no difference between living entity and God. Like there's a Tattvam Asi, Tat, Brahma, Tvam, Jiva. You are actually that Brahman. So, but today we also will discuss how these Shankaracharya followers they interpret this Mayavadi, they interpret this Vedavakya. Okay. So Prabhupada goes on discussing about 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya, what is their philosophy. Uh, the 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya want to be they want this Mayavadi, they want to be worshipped by God. Such persons do not accept the philosophies of the Vaishnavacharya, which are known as Shuddha Dvaita, means purified monism. Shuddha Dvaita, purified dualism. Visishta Dvaita, specific monism. Dvaita Dvaita, monism and dualism. Then Achintya Bhedabhed, inconceivable oneness and difference. Mayavadi do not discuss these philosophies, for they are firmly convinced of their own philosophy of Kevaladvaita, exclusive monism. That is Shankaracharya's philosophy. Exclusive monism. Okay, Kevaladvaita Siddhanta. Accepting this system of philosophy as the pure understanding of the Vedanta Sutra, they believe that Krishna has a body made of material elements and that the activities of loving service to Krishna are sentimentality. See, this is Mayavadi's understanding. They are known as Mayavadis because, according to their opinion, Krishna has a body made of Maya, and the loving service of Lord Krishna executed by devotees is also Maya, because Krishna's body is Maya. Service rendered to him is also Maya. They consider such devotional service to be an aspect of fruitive activity, karma kanda. See, according to their view, bhakti consists of mental speculation or sometimes meditation. This is the difference between Mayavadi and Vaishnava philosophy. When they say that, all right, you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but why don't you study Vedanta with us? If you don't study, then at least you listen to the Vedanta. What is the fault in it? এত শুনি হাসি প্রভু বলিলা বচন দুঃখ না মানহ যদি করি নিবেদন. Upon hearing the sannyasis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu laughed. He smiled actually. And then he said, "My dear sir, if you do not mind, I can say something to you regarding Vedanta." Because they follow Shankaracharya and they accept Shankaracharya commentary the highest authority. Therefore, Mahaprabhu is trying to tell them that please don't feel offended. Now I am going to tell you the truth. Srila Prabhupada also again gave the two purports, very long purport. There will be some portion we can read. Second paragraph. The Vaishnavas are by far the greatest philosophers in the world, and the greatest among them was Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu, whose philosophy was again presented less than 400 years later by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. Therefore, one must know very well that Vaishnava philosophers are not sentimentalists or cheap devotees like the Sahajiyas. All the Vaishnava acharyas were vastly learned scholars who understood Vedanta philosophy fully. For unless one knows Vedanta philosophy, he cannot be an acharya. To be accepted as an acharya among Indian transcendentalists who follow the Vedic principles, one must become a vastly learned scholar in Vedanta philosophy, either by studying it or hearing it. That means Prabhupada is saying, in one sense, all the acharyas in our uh, sampradaya have to be learned scholars in Vedanta philosophy. Then only one can present this Krishna conscious philosophy to the people in an appealing manner. Then Prabhupada also gives this translation and purport of Bhagavatam 1 to 12. तत्सद्धारा मुनय ज्ञान वैराग्य युक्तया पश्यत्यात्मनिजात्मानं bhaktya shuta grihitaya. That means the seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. Very long purport. Prabhupada is speaking about three types of devotee here. First class, second class, and third class. I'll just read the last second paragraph. There are three classes of devotees, namely first, second, and third class. The third class devotees or the neophytes who have no knowledge and are not detached from material association, but who are simply attracted by the preliminary process of worshipping the deity in the temple, are called material devotee. That is Prakrita Bhakta. They have no knowledge of the Siddhanta, but they are attracted to deity uh, worship. He's saying they are Prakrita Bhakta, material devotees. Material devotees are more attached to material benefit than transcendental profit. This is how to understand who is in a Kanishta Adhikari platform. While engaged in deity seva, if their prime goal is to strengthen their material life, they are more inclined to material benefits than the goal of devotional service. Third class devotee. huh? Therefore, one has to make definite progress from the position of material devotional service to the second class devotional service. Means from Kanishta Adhikari Vaishnava to Madhyama Adhikari Vaishnava. In the second class position, the devotee can see four principles in the devotional line, namely the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, his devotees, Bhakta, the ignorant and envious. Those who are envious and ignorant. These four types of people they can see. Those who are in the second class category, second class position. One has to rise himself at least to the stage of a second class devotee and thus become eligible to know the absolute. Now, who is in the second class category? If we want to understand, these devotees they read Shastra, they have good understanding, and they are able to see with proper perspective the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His devotees, and those who are ignorant and envious people. They are able to distinguish. Okay? Prabhupada is saying at least devotees should come to that platform. A third class devotee therefore has to receive the instruction of devotional service from the authoritative sources of Bhagavata. The number one Bhagavata is the established personality of Godhead, and the order Bhagavata is the message of Godhead, and the other Bhagavat is the message of Godhead. The third class devotee, therefore, has to go to the personality of Godhead in order to learn the instructions of devotional service. Such a personality Such a personality of devotee is not a professional man who earns his livelihood by the business of Bhagavatam. That means those who are conversant with Bhagavatam philosophy, they have the potency to infuse bhakti in people. So therefore, those who are still having lot of attachment to the material world, they should go to hear Bhagavatam from the devotee uh, who is a person Bhagavati. That means he doesn't make his living by distributing Bhagavatam knowledge to others. Such a devotee must be a representative of Sukadev Goswami like Sutta Goswami and must preach the cult of devotional service for the all-round benefit of all people. A neophyte devotee has very little taste for hearing from the authorities. Such a neophyte devotee makes a show of hearing from the professional man to satisfy his senses. This sort of hearing and chanting has spoiled the whole thing. So one should be very careful about the faulty process. The holy messages of Godhead, as inculcated in the Bhagavad Gita or in Srimad Bhagavatam, are undoubtedly transcendental subjects. But even though they are so, such transcendental matters are not to be received from the professional man who spoils them as the serpent spoils milk simply by the touch of his tongue. That means when a professional reciter he recites Bhagavatam, from time to time he might add his own flavor, which is based on material sentiment or attachment to this world. Then what will happen? The new part devotee who is listening, he will not be able to become free from the attraction to these material objects. Because the speaker does not have that detachment, how can he generate detachment in the person who is listening? Uh, Therefore, even though the message of Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental, it's pure, but when it is coming from a person who has a different goal than what Bhagavatam is intending to give, that is where the pollution starts. So Prabhupada has cautioned us not to listen from such kind of professional man because they can have lot of musical trait and they can recite very nicely, but they upon hearing them, the relationship between the Lord and the devotee as the master and servant will not be fructified. A sincere devotee must therefore be prepared to hear the Vedic literature like Upanishad, Vedanta Sutra, and other literatures left by the previous authorities or Goswamis for the benefit of his progress. See, this is very important. Outside people also they recite Bhagavatam. Okay, our devotees also they recite Bhagavatam. The difference is we follow our authorities, our Goswamis. Don't want to speak any Siddhanta which is contrary to our Vaishnava Siddhanta. Without hearing such literatures, one cannot make actual progress. See, that means without hearing Bhagavatam from the commentary of the Goswamis, we cannot attain devotional service under the lotus feet of Krishna. And without hearing and following the instructions, the show of devotional service becomes worthless. And therefore, a a sort of disturbance is in the path of devotional service. Unless, therefore, devotional service is established on the principles of Shruti, Smriti, Puran, and Pancharatra authorities, the the maxo of devotional service should at once be rejected. An unauthorized devotee should never be recognized as a pure devotee. By assimilation of such messages from the Vedic literatures, one can see the all-pervading localized aspect of the personality of Godhead within his own self constantly. This is called samadhi. ইহা শুনি বলে সর্ব সন্ন্যাসীরগণ তোমাকে দেখিয়ে যাইছে সাক্ষাৎ নারায়ণ. The Mayavadi sannyasis say, when we see you, we feel you are directly Narayan. Sakshat Narayan, Narayan himself. So they have accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Narayan himself. Prabhupada speaks about a spiritual teacher in Bengal who has called this Daridra Narayan, poor Narayan. Prabhupada condemns that in the Bhagavad. The next. তোমার বচন শুনি জুড়ায় শ্রবণ, তোমার মাধুরী দেখি জুড়ায় নয়ন. They are saying, the sannyasi, they said, dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to tell you the truth, we are greatly pleased to hear your words. And furthermore, your bodily features are so pleasing that we feel extraordinary satisfaction in seeing it. In Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami explains, the happiness of devotional service is like this. It attracts everyone. So, even though they are Mayavadis, they were attracted to Mahaprabhu, what he said and with his bodily features. Prabhupada says, he quotes verse from Nectar of Devotion. Ato Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Gahyam Indriyai Sevan Mukhehi Jivhadu Swayam Eva Spratyada. With one's mentality, with one's materially contaminated senses, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead or His name, form, qualities, or paraphernalia. अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि नवमे गाह्य इंद्रिय सेवन मुखे जीवहा. Juha means tongue. Starting with tongue, when all the senses are contaminated, means the senses have only taste for their respective sense objects. With such kind of senses, one cannot understand the personality of God. This is the point. Here, one can see the effect of the Mayavadi sannyasis. Service to Narayan. Because the Mayavadi offered a little respect to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and because they were pious and actually followed the austere rules and regulations of sannyas, they had some understanding of Vedanta philosophy. And by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they could appreciate that he was none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is endowed with all six opulences. One of these opulences is his beauty. By his extraordinarily beautiful bodily features, the Mayavadi sannyasis recognized Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Narayana himself. He was not a farcical Narayana, like the Daridra Narayanas invented by so-called sannyasis. তোমার প্রভাবে সবার আনন্দিত মন কভু অসঙ্গত নহে তোমার বচন. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you don't mind, then I can tell you something. Why I don't hear Vedanta philosophy from you guys. So they are saying, no, कभु असंगत नहीं तुम्हार वचन. We understand whatever you will speak, it will be reasonable. It will not be unreasonable. Dear sir, by your influence, our minds are greatly satisfied. And we believe that your words will never be unreasonable. Therefore, you may speak on the Vedanta Sutra. In this verse, the word Tomar Prabhave, your influence, are very important. Unless one is spiritually advanced, he cannot influence an audience. Very important. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung Suddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anukul. Unless one associates with a pure devotee, he cannot be influenced to understand devotional service. These Mayavadi sannyasis were fortunate enough to meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of a devotee. And certainly, they were greatly influenced by the Lord. They knew that since a perfectly advanced spiritualist never says anything false, all his words are reasonable and agree with the Vedic version. A highly realized person never says anything that has no meaning. Mayavadi philosophers claim to be the supreme personality of Godhead, and this has no meaning. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never uttered such nonsense. The Mayavadi sannyasis were convinced that his personality, and therefore they wanted to hear the purport of Vedanta philosophy from him. प्रभु कहे वेदांत सूत्र ईश्वर वचन व्यास रूपे कैल जहा श्री नारायण. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that definitely there is no fault in Vedanta Sutra because the Supreme Lord Narayana in form of Krishna Dvaipa and Vyasa, he has compiled this philosophy. Huh? The Lord said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vedanta philosophy consists of words spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana in the form of Vyasadeva. That means he is saying there is no fault in what Vyasadeva has written. Again, long purport. Vedanta Sutra name, there are 6 names. Brahma Sutra, Saririka, Bhashya, Vyasa Sutra, Badarayana Sutra, Uttara Mimamsa, and Vedanta Darshan. These are the names of the Vedanta Sutra. Okay, so there are 4 chapters, adhyayas, in the Vedanta Sutra, and there are 4 divisions, padas, in each chapter. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra may be referred to as Shodosho Pada or 16 divisions of aphorisms. The theme of each and every division is fully described in terms of 5 different subject matters. Adhikaranas, which are technically called pratigya, hetu, udaharana, upanayan, upanaya, and nigamana. Every theme must necessarily be explained with reference to pratigya or a solemn declaration of the purpose of the treatise. So, Prabhupada is explaining that this Vedanta darshan has to be explained in a bona fide manner. The next part I said, according to the great dictionary compiler Hemachandra, also known as Koshokara, Vedanta refers to the purport of the Upanishads and the Brahmana portion of the Vedas. Professor Apte, in his dictionary, describes the Brahmana portion of the Vedas as that portion which states the rules and employment of hymns at various sacrifices and gives detailed explanations of their origin, sometimes with lengthy illustrations in the form of legends and stories. Anyway, these are more kind of informative purport. Okay, next para. According to learned scholars, there are 3 different sources of knowledge, which are called Prasthanatraya. According to the Vedic scholars, Vedanta is one of the sources, which is called Nyaya Prasthan. Shruti Prasthan, Smriti Prasthan, and Nyaya Prasthan. Three Prasthanas. Vedanta is one of the sources. For it presents Vedic knowledge on the basis of logic and sound argument. That's why it is called Nyaya Prasthan. The source of knowledge which is obtained from Vedanta is known as Nyaya Prasthan. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva Hetu Madhir Vinishchite. Understanding of the ultimate goal of life is ascertained in the Brahma Sutra by legitimate logic and argument concerning cause and effect. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra is known as Nyaya Prastha. The Upanishads are known as Shruti Prastha. And the Gita, Mahabharata, and Puranas are known as Smriti Prasthan. Smriti, mostly compiled by the rishis, and Upanishads are Shruti, then Vedanta Sutra is Nyaya Prastha. All scientific knowledge of transcendence must be supported by Shruti, Smriti, and a sound logical basis. That means the knowledge about devotional service or even the spiritual knowledge must be supported by Shruti, Smriti, and Nyayavastha. That's why Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Pancharatra, breathing bina, Aikantik Haribhakti Utpataya. Again. So everything has to come in line. The next paragraph Prabhupada is speaking on the Pancharatra. It is said that both the Vedic knowledge and the supplement of the Vedas called the Sattvata Pancharatra emanated from the breathing of Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedanta Sutra aphorisms were compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, a powerful incarnation of Sri Narayana. Although it is sometimes said that they were compiled by a great sage named Apantaratama. The Pancharatra and Vedanta Sutra, however, express the same opinion. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirms that there is no difference in opinion between the two, and he declares that because Vedanta Sutra was compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, it may be understood to have emanated from the breathing of Sri Narayana. So therefore, Mahaprabhu's point is, because it is coming from Supreme Lord, therefore there is no dosa, there is no fault in it. But actually, I cannot hear from you. Anyway, further Prabhupada explains about this. Vedanta Sutra consists of 4 chapters, and the title or the subject matter which is discussed there known as Sambandha Jnana, Avideva Tattva, and Prayojana Tattva. Sambandha is the relationship, means the jiva, the living entity, knowledge of the jiva, the living entity, and the material world, and their relationship. That is called Sambandha Jnana. Then Avidya is the process, you know this, right? And the Prayojan is the goal. The 4th chapter describes the result of such devotional service called Prayojan. So 4 chapters are there. So they describe different subject matters. So it is the first 2 chapters discusses the relationship of the living entity with the Supreme Personality of God. This is called Sambandha Jnana. First 2 chapters. The relationship of the living entity with the Supreme Lord is described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jiver Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. Therefore, to act in that relationship, one must perform sadhana bhakti or the prescribed duties of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Avidya Jnana. The fourth chapter, the Avidya Tattva, that means it is explained in third chapter. The fourth chapter describes the result of such devotional service, that is provision. Ultimate goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. That means when somebody studies Vedic literature or explains Vedic literature, if it is not connecting one to the service of the personality of Godhead, then it is not a bona fide explanation of the Vedic literature. You should know this. So, Mahaprabhu did not go to associate with the Mayavadi sannyasi. He didn't want to hear even Vedanta Sutra from them because uh, the explanation given by Shankaracharya, a Sarika Bhashya, does not promote, or you can say does not confirm the master and servant relationship. Because in their understanding, Jiva is also supreme. At one point, when he becomes free from Maya, he will become supreme. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya definitely confirmed that the commentaries or Bhashyas written by the Vaishnava Acharyas on the basis of devotional service to Lord Vishnu and not the Sajika Bhashya of Shankaracharya. Give the actual explanation of the Vedanta. See, this is the one point we can say the whole world is missing. Just now we read Gita and Puranas, they are Smriti Prasthan. Mahabharata, they are Smriti Prasthan. And Shruti Prasthan is Upanishads. So many people, they take shelter of this Purana, Mahabharata and all, but they don't come to the point of devotion, right? Especially if you go to South India today, there are many versions of Ramayana. Here in Bengal also, there is one called Kirtivasana Ramayana. Mahabharata also, there is, many versions of Mahabharata are available. But what actually these writers have done, many of them actually they have deluded the readers. They don't speak about devotional service, which is the Prayojan Tattva. And that's why Prabhupada is saying, without studying Vedanta Darsana, you cannot become an Acharya. Because he will be caught by such kind of flowery explanations of the Puranas. And he will not be able to direct them to the essence, which is devotional service. Hmm. Hmm. So, this is very important point. That's why we know that when Prabhupada was speaking on Bhagavad Gita commentary, even in Karma Yoga section, he's speaking about devotional service. Because that is the goal. Why he's speaking? In Karma Yoga section, why he's not speaking more on Karma? No, he's speaking Karma connecting to devotional service. That's why our Acharya, this is Niskama Karma Yoga section. भ्रम प्रमाद विप्रलिप्सा करण पाठ ईश्वरेर वाक्य नहीं दोष the material defects of mistakes, illusions, cheating, and sensory inefficiency do not exist in the words of the Supreme Personality of God. So that means, first of all, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, look, not that I'm coming, I'm not coming to listening to you, means there is some fault in Vedanta Sutra. Definitely there is no fault in Vedanta Sutra. It is coming from Narayana. Purport. The mistake is the acceptance of an object to be different from what it is, or the acceptance of false knowledge. different types of sadhus are. They give concoctive explanation to the scripture. That is false knowledge. Prabhupada gives an example. For example, one may see a rope in the dark and think it to be a serpent. Or one may see a glittering oyster shell and think it to be gold. These are mistakes. Similarly, an illusion is a misunderstanding. Sorry. Similarly, an illusion is a misunderstanding that arises from inattention while hearing and chanting, is the transmission of such defective knowledge to others. Materialistic scientists and philosophers generally use such words as maybe and perhaps because they do not have actual knowledge of complete facts. Therefore, their instructing others is an example of cheating. The final defect of the materialistic person is his inefficient senses. Although our eyes, for example, have the power to see, they cannot see that which is situated at a distance, nor can they see the eyelid, which is the object nearest to the eye. To our untrained eyes, the sun appears to be just like a plate. And to the eyes of one who is suffering from jaundice, everything appears to be yellow. Therefore, we cannot rely on the knowledge acquired through such imperfection eyes. The ears are equally imperfect. We can't hear a sound vibrated a long distance away unless we put a telephone to our ear. Similarly, if we analyze all our senses in this way, we will find them all to be imperfect. Therefore, it is useless to acquire knowledge through the senses. The Vedic process is to hear from authority. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.2, the Lord says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajasya. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession. And the saintly kings understood it in that way. We have to hear not from a telephone, but from an authorized person. For it is he who has real knowledge. Yeah, authorized person means like we are hearing now from Prabhupada. Okay, Prabhupada has heard from his guru. So his guru has heard from his guru. Like you go up to like some Goswami, they have heard from Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is an authentic process. So that means hearing process, Sabda Praman is the highest Praman. That's why we have to hear from an authorized person. उपनिषद सहित सूत्र कहे जे तत्व मुख्य वृत्ति सही अर्थ परम महत्व. The absolute truth is described in the Upanishads and Brahma Sutra, but one must understand the verses as they are. That is the supreme glory in understanding. That means here Prabhupada is listing these 108 Upanishads are there, and this Vedanta Sutra is also there. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's point is, even though the absolute truth is described, one must understand the verses as they are. That means स्वत प्रमाण वेद सत्यजयी कय लक्षणा करिले अर्थ प्रामाण्य हानि. See, Ved is directly is a direct evidence because it is coming from the Supreme Lord. When we interpret Lakshanartha, Lakshanartha means here in this connection, the Veda have a direct meaning. Vedic statements have direct meaning. Without referring to the direct meaning which is presented by the different words, padas of the Veda, the sutras, the writer is giving an imaginative explanation, analyzing the Sanskrit contexts, maybe sometimes, uh, the meaning sometimes that is actually faulty. But you cannot say that there cannot be any lakshana. Like somebody, he is writing something, okay? And to understand the meaning, sometimes lakshana artha is also essential. How to understand this? If we say Gangayam Ghoshapalli, means if you take the direct meaning, means the village of the ghost is in Ganga. But it doesn't make any sense, right? Gangayam Ghoshapalli. How can you say there can be a village established in the middle of Ganga? Therefore, in this connection, Lakshana Artha is very, very essential. Means the interpretation is the village of the horses are on the bank of, located on the bank of Ganga. That is the meaning of Gangayam Ghoshapalli. Another example. If we say another example, we can take. Kakebhya dadhi rakshatam. Means here it is said, the direct meaning is you should protect yogurt from the cows. But actually, main intention is to protect the yogurt. The protection of the yogurt is not only to be done from the cows, from the crows, but from other entities which can also uh, pollute the yogurt. Means sometimes dog, cats, and other birds, other animals, they can also pollute the yogurt. That's why when it says kakebhyo dadhi, means you protect this dadhi, the yogurt, from the crows, means the other animal which can also pollute the yogurt, you must protect it from them. Okay, so this explanation is kind of, um, uh, you can say it is essential. Otherwise, the main meaning of the context, main meaning of the text will not be understood. Another example, uh, Singhoyam Devadatta. Devadatta is a lion. Is he a lion? No, he's not a lion actually. Lion means he's an animal. He's got four legs, and he's very aggressive. But when you say Singhoyam Devadatta, Devadatta is like he is actually as aggressive as a lion. Devadatta is as aggressive as a lion. If you explain like that, it makes sense. So in certain cases, this Lakshana Vritti, the interpretation is essential. But in case of Veda Vakya, the Upanishad, Vedanta Sutra, Ved Swata Praman. The words of the Veda directly convey direct meaning. it doesn't require any Lakshanartha. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's point, that what Shankaracharya has done is, the way he has explained these meanings of the Vedanta Sutra, it has covered the actual meaning, Mukhya Artha of the Sutra. What is the Mukhya Artha of Sutra? The Mukhya Artha, the primary meaning of the Vedanta Sutra is to promote master and servant understanding, relationship. Means he is supreme and Jiva is his servant. He is Param Brahma, Jiva is Anu Brahma. He is supreme conscious entity and Jiva is Anu conscious entity. Both are conscious, but there is a difference. One is supreme conscious and Jiva is minutely conscious. Even in Bhagavad Gita, right? Kshetrajna Vibhag. Prabhupada speaks about the king of the state. He is aware of the land possessed by all individual beings. But a particular farmer, he is conscious about his own patch of land. So there's a difference. So conscious wise speaking, Jiva is conscious, he is also conscious, but there's a gap of difference. He is supremely conscious and we are minutely conscious. So Shankaracharya has interpreted it in a way which does not promote this Sabya Sevaka Bhava. That means the concept of master and servant relationship is not prominent in Shankaracharya's Bhashya, in monistic philosophy. Therefore, Mahaprabhu is saying, if I hear from you, it's not going to actually help me to attend the devotional service under the Supreme Lord, because you don't accept devotional service. Sabya Sevaka Bhava is not there. Therefore, I don't listen from you. That is the whole point of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauna Vritye Jeva Bhashya Karilo Acharya Tahara Sabane Nas Hoy Sarvakarya. Sripad Shankaracharya has described all the Vedic literatures in terms of indirect meanings. One who hears such explanations is ruined. That means anyone who hears the Bhashya of Shankaracharya, he will not accept devotional service. That's why their life will be ruined. Because Divya Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das, and his Lord is master. So this servant and master relationship is not promoted in the Saririka Bhashya of Shankaracharya. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I don't want to listen to your explanations. It's not that there is some fault in the original commentary of the Vedanta Sutra. Therefore, our devotees also should be very much careful to hear this Vedanta commentary from the bona fide Vaishnavacharya. Especially in our line also we have Baldev Vidyabhushan, he has given the commentary. So we read that part. Not that any commentary you read and then you can understand. Especially in the whole world, Shankaracharya's Saririka Bhashya is prominent. And many people, they feel they follow it. But we don't follow it. Because Mahaprabhu has rejected it. Tahara Savade Nas Hoy Sarva Karya. If we hear the explanation given by Shankaracharya, then we will not attend your devotional service, even devotional service. That is the point. Our life will be ruined. Why he has done, Mahaprabhu is going to explain afterwards. We will continue next. Maybe if you have a question or comment, we will continue from text number 110 next week. If you have any question or comment? Balika Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Padmanayana, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. What a wonderful, lecture this one. It was really clarified some of the
comment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, can you hear me? Padmanayana Prabhu, can you hear
What
me?
happened? Silas Prabhu used to ask question every time. Today there is no question from Silas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Padmanayana Prabhu, can you hear me? Oh, you
Silas
can't.
Prabhu, are you okay?
Hare Krishna, Padmanayana Prabhu, can you?
Silas
Prabhu, I
Prabhu.
think you can't hear us, Prabhu.
Yes, Silas Prabhu.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna
Okay.
Prabhu, I'm not able to hear you. Are you speaking?
I tried to
You're not
ask a
speaking.
question, but maybe you can't hear. I don't know whether my microphone is working.
Prabhu, I'm not able to hear you. No, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. It was such a wonderful class, but I wanted to ask one
I
question.
can't hear you, Silas Prabhu. Any other devotee? Bankim Govinda Prabhu, can you hear Silas Prabhu speaking? Huh?
Oh, I think you can't hear anybody.
Bankim Govinda Prabhu, please
Yeah.
unmute. Silas Prabhu is speaking, but I'm not able to hear. I don't know what happened. There's some problem in my setting, maybe.
Yeah, we are all
some issue
speaking,
with,
but you
I'm
can't
trying
hear
it,
it.
I think. What to do? The boy is also not here today.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Bol. Hare Krishna. Bankim Govinda Prabhu. What happened to me? Oh, my volume. Okay. Yes, you are right. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, can you hear?
And now I can hear you. Yes, there are some problems.
Oh, okay. Hare Krishna.
Silas Prabhu, you can speak now.
Oh, sorry.
I think Palika Mataji has been trying to speak to you first, so let us speak first.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Actually,
thank you so much for wonderful. It is really wonderful explanation of. I really wanted to hear this for such a long time. And what I want to ask you, if I may, that Shankaracharya is an acharya.
yeah.
He is also speaking what you need to speak.
Yes.
And but the people, I mean, who are Mayavadi, that they didn't understand, or is it was Shankaracharya was explaining in a covered way, so those people who are following would not understand, because he is an acharya, so he would speak the truth. And if they follow him, then they will realize the truth. And so that's what I wanted to know. Why was it spoken?
Okay, now let me give you one explanation of the Mayavad. Then it make you sense.
Thank you.
They have explained this term called Tattvam Asi. Right?
Yeah.
Tattvam Asi. They say you are him. What does it mean? Because this requires some Sanskrit knowledge also. Jiva Goswami has written in Sarva Sambhajini. Just now I was speaking about Lakshana Artha, means indirect meaning. I gave the example of Gangayam Ghoshapalli. This is a bona fide and meaning actually accepted. Jiva Goswami, he speaks about three Lakshana Artha. One is called Ajahat Swartha, Jahat Swartha, and Jahad Ajahat Swartha. This Jahad Ajahat Swartha means actually it denies one meaning of a particular object and accept the another meaning. Okay? So what Shankaracharya has done is, he has done like that. For example, this Tattvamasi. If there are some kind of pen and paper, it will be more useful. But try to listen carefully. Now I am explaining. He's saying Tat. Tat means, Tat word is referred to the Brahman, Supreme Brahman.
Yeah.
Who is Supreme Brahma? How we identify? Like we say, he is conscious, but he is supremely conscious. There are two terms here, right? Yeah. One word is supremely. He is supreme conscious being. Okay. So now, if you take, divide into two sections. One is supreme, another section is conscious being. That is Brahman. Yeah. Okay. That is referred to Tat. And the other one is Tvam. Tvam means, Tvam refer to Jiva. Jiva is also conscious being, but he is minute conscious being. Now, first word, we define in two sections. One is supreme conscious being, supreme, then conscious being. Then the second one is minute conscious being. Okay. So if you take this conscious being, Jiva is also conscious being, Param Brahma is also conscious being. Yes. Yes. That means there is no difference. That is one way of Lakshana. Okay. Okay. So that's why he's saying you are actually him. But he is not, he deliberately not discussing about that he is supremely conscious being and we are mind conscious being. That's why there is a Sabya and Sevaka relationship. That part he is deliberately not revealing. Covered it. Okay. So okay. His explanation is, his explanation is perfect. But the people that's why I see. But he has done that. He has done that. Ishwara Agya. Next time you go to hear why he has done that also. So he has done. That's why these kind of Sanskrit explanations from point of view. Sometimes he has given his concoctive idea, which is explaining a particular way. But that's why our Vaishnava Siddhanta is complete, is perfect. Yes, I understand. So Shankaracharya was right to explain that way, but he was covering. Yes, covering because he was covering. Why was he covering that? Under the order of the Supreme Lord. In next word you see, next Chaitanya is speaking in the next verse. Tahar naika dos Ishwarar Agya Paya. Actually, there is no fault in Shankaracharya because he was under the order of the Supreme Lord. That he has covered the real purpose of the Vedas. That was the order of the Lord, that he has to do it. Okay. Thank you very much. That's why I couldn't understand. I mean, he said, Shankaracharya says, Krishna is Bhagavan and all that thing. And then by his message, all these people became Mayavadi. So how is it possible? Yes. So he has actually done that because that was the order of the Supreme Lord to confuse people. Okay, thank you so much for explaining. It's really wonderful class because this is the thing I was struggling for a long time. Now today it's now clear. Thank you so much. Good. Hare Krishna Prabhu. We want to give you pure understanding. Just stay in touch with us, and you can ask any question, no issue. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Okay, Shailesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you very much for doing this class, even though you were not well. Actually, at the start, I was speaking to you, but I think you couldn't hear. I was saying if you're not so well, perhaps you can, if you wanted to cancel class today.
No, but actually, what happened, to be honest with you, I was traveling, then I was not able to do this class for few months, and I was feeling guilty actually. This is not justice. So now I don't want to stop unless there is some. Actually, I may travel again in December, but I will try. If it so happen, maybe 1 week I have to cancel. But I actually also enjoy, I learn also by studying this Chaitanya Caritamrta. So therefore, I don't want to cancel this class. I'll be
Thank you.
right. I'm taking medicine.
Thank you.
Please pray for me so that I can quickly recover from this sickness.
So I have a question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
On text 103, we read it, hearing this, the Mayavadi sannyasis became somewhat humble and addressed Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Narayan himself, who they all agreed he was. But we also, Prabhupada then goes on to his purport saying Mayavadi sannyasis address each other as Narayan.
Correct.
Whenever they see each other. So how do we understand this, that they're actually referring to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Narayan himself, as in the personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and not just giving the reference of Narayan as they do to each other out of whatever their concocted, sort of folk, philosophy is?
Here, I got your point. They are saying, see, try to understand, Prabhu. The point is, here, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually Narayan himself. He is not to be fact. He is not faking himself. But what happens is, Mayavadi sannyasis, they actually twist. They claim because they want to be worshipped by their followers. That's why they present themselves as God. But because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in case of Chaitanya, is a fact. That's why the way he presented, everybody accepted him. Of course, I try to understand this. He is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Like if you take the example of Krishna entering into the assembly of Kamsa, Mallanam Asarinam, this verse, different devotees, they actually experienced him differently because he can actually reveal himself in that way. So for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to reveal his beauty even before the Mayavadi sannyasis and reveal his knowledge before the Mayavadi sannyasi itself is the evidence that he is able to convince them that he is the direct Narayan himself. That Mahaprabhu can do it because he is God himself. Like Krishna was able to present himself in the assembly of Kamsa, where different devotees they perceived him differently. That is the unique feature the Supreme Personality of Godhead has as Bhagavan, which is absent in the Jiva. That's why Jiva cannot present himself as Narayan, but Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can present himself as Narayan and he can inspire people to accept him as he, Narayan himself.
Thank you, Prabhu. Which is presumably the reason why they later then become devotees as opposed to is that because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's revelation directly to them that they actually become devotees?
Yes.
So it is through the Lord's mercy, as we know, as opposed to philosophical understanding. So the point I was trying to understand here is that it's not the philosophy that's converting them, it's the Lord's mercy that's converting them.
You got the point.
Okay.
There are so many big scholars, right? They have Sanskrit knowledge, they read also Veda, they read also other literatures concerning Puranas and all. But how many of them are becoming devotees? They are big scholars. They have this like Nyaya, knowledge of Nyaya, they can interpret in many different ways. And it is appealing, this is truth. But there is no mercy of the Lord. Because they are not reading it under the guidance of a Vaishnava. That is the problem. That's why they cannot get the access of the door of bhakti. It will not open for them. The door to bhakti will be opened by a representative of Krishna, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially in this age. When they are not in connection with such a acharya, the door is shut. They cannot find the door. But outside people, they will kind of recognize him as them as great Pandit, great Acharya, or whatever you can say, for Lava Puja Pratishtha, name, fame, and adoration. But the real door of access to devotional service will be closed for them.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry to disturb you again.
Yeah.
I just want to know after Shailesh Govinda Prabhu asking this question. I mean, those particular Mayavadi sannyasi who were in Banarasi, they became Krishna conscious, or they understood Mahaprabhu by Mahaprabhu's mercy.
Yeah.
But then why those then? Why can that all those sannyasi couldn't be carry on with the same thing, and so there wouldn't be any more Mayavadi here now.
but Shankaracharya commentary is still there, and some people who are inspired to understand in that language. Now you have to go and preach to them with the understanding of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
They will not understand because I'm not that elevated.
That's right. Like we are saying now, the effect of pure chanting is one will sometimes dance, sometimes chant, sometimes sing, sometimes you run here and there. And then you are experiencing that kind of ecstasy means you have the capacity to reveal the holy name to others. That's why we have to become sincere sadhaka. This is the message.
Need your blessing. Need your blessings.
No, I need blessing of all of you also. Let us pray for each other. You pray for me, I pray for you.
You are giving us knowledge, so.
No, I am not trying to give you knowledge. Try to understand this. My goal is to help you get the taste for your sadhana. When you know all these things, you become more serious, sincere sadhaka. That is what I am trying to do. I am not trying to give you knowledge. Try to understand this.
Very grateful to you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Knowledge, so many people can give you knowledge. We are not meant to distribute knowledge. We are meant to distribute devotional service and to inspire people to take up devotional service. That is our service.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Haribol.
Thank you. Okay, dear devotee. Yes, Banking Govinda Prabhu.
Yes, just one question for academic purpose, Prabhu. So this sutra is there, and is there any difference between sutra and shastra, Prabhu?
Sutra and shastra?
Yeah, because there is something called Dharma Sutra is there, Dharma Shastra is there. Sutra and Shastra, any kind of...
Sutra is actually, Sutra is a condensed form of the subject matter. Means, in a few words, many things are compressed. When you expand the Sutra, it becomes an elaborate, you can also say, one Shastra can also be formed from one Sutra. When it is elaborately explained. Sutras are the condensed form of the subject matter. In a few words, many subject is compressed.
So various Shastra like Artha Shastra, Gandharva Shastra, Dhanu Shastra, everything comes from the Sutra only.
There is Sutra.
Okay. Fine, we just I mean, nothing related to devotion.
You just know the Sutra is a condensed form, compressed version of the subject.
Fine.
Like in mathematics, if you are students of the mathematics, the sutra is like a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. A plus b whole cube means a cube plus 2a square b plus 3 b ab square, something like that, right? And then b cube, like that. So, and with this sutra, you solve so many mathematical calculations. So Sutra is meant to have the condensed information, and then with the application of that sutra, you can unfold many other subject matters also. Like as we said, in the first 2 chapters of Vedanta Sutra, it speaks about Sambandha Tattva. Means if you know this, then whenever you come to study other Vedic literature, with the understanding of the sutra from the first 2 chapters, you will be able to give much more clear explanation of the Lord, the devotee, and the energy, material energy, and their interrelationship, their dependency also.
Okay, so Vedanta talks about Lord and his devotees and devotion only. I think Vedas talk about all Shastras and other things, Arthashas, everything. It talks everything other than the Lord is devotion. Is that if I have to understand it that way, Prabhu? Veda and Vedanta, as Prabhupada says. So Vedanta talks only about Bhagavan, his relationship with the devotees and how to attain him, maybe.
No, see, both are speaking about 3 things: Sambandha Tattva, Avidya Tattva, and Prayojan Tattva, but in a different way. Veda has a way of explaining this subject, and Vedanta Sutra has another way of explaining this subject. Veda is vast, Vedanta Sutra is condensed. After Veda, Vedanta Sutra was compiled. Anyway, okay. Thank you, dear devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So Mahaprabhu willing, we will meet next week and continue from 110. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.